welcome back. Today's class is going to focus on stretching in the calves, the hamstrings, and the hips. It's just going to be a short little yoga stretch class. So you don't need any equipment. You can have blocks if you like. Sorry, I should say that. You don't need equipment, but I recommend blocks, especially if you are just getting into stretching and your flexibility is maybe not where you want it to be. And then we'll get started in seated. So instead of sitting cross-legged to start, we're actually going to start with the soles of our feet together, knees out to either side. This is Baddha Konasana, bound angle or butterfly pose. This is going to stretch our groin here, and we want to think about reaching your knees outwards to either side as opposed to just straight down. So just starting here, back is straight. You can always place a block underneath your bum if you like, just to tip your pelvis a little bit and help you from rounding too much in the back. The hands can come to your feet or your ankles, and just sitting upright, closing the eyes, focusing on the breath. Trying not to let your mind wander for the next little while. Just focusing on yourself and why you're here today doing this class. On your next inhale, just blink open your eyes. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and then twisting towards the left. We're going to keep our legs in that bound angle pose. Right hand is going to come behind us, pressing up just to continue to keep your back straight. Left hand can maybe come to the outside of right thigh, and just twisting to the left. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the other side. This time left hand will help lift us up, keeping that back straight. Right hand will come to the outside of the left leg. One more breath here. Inhale back through center, and then exhale, just hinging forward from the hips. So we're not rounding the back like this. You're just hinging forward. If this is as far as you get, that's great. Hands can again come around your feet, maybe just gently pulling yourself a little bit more forward, or they can come out in front of you. We are not warmed up yet, so don't expect to get too far into this pose, but again, think reach outwards with the legs as opposed to just pressing them down. Just pausing here for a moment. One more breath. And then coming back up, coming over your feet, coming into a tabletop position to start. Inhale, allow the belly to fall, gaze to rise. Exhale, rounding through the spine, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Palms are planted firmly on the earth. Right leg lifts back, foot is flexed, toes are pointed downwards. Then you can always point the toe to activate the leg if you like. Sweeping the right leg out towards the side and then planting the foot on the ground. So you can just be on the inside edge of the right foot or pressing the full sole down. From here we're going to press through the palms, shifting our left hip back towards our left heel. Coming into a half child's pose modification. Again, maybe you need to bring that foot back just to match it up with your body. You can be upright like this, on your forearms or even bringing your head towards the ground. Wherever you are, just pausing here for a few breaths and enjoying that stretch down the inside of your right leg. Few more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, lift the head if it's lowered. Press through the left knee, bringing yourself back up to that modified tabletop. Right foot lifts off the ground, swings around behind. Bend at the knee, place it back down beside the left. Inhale, allow the belly to fall, gaze to rise. Exhale, drawing that spine inwards. 2 more times. Inhale again, coming back to neutral. Same thing on the other side. So allow your left leg to come long out behind you. Start by flexing the foot, making sure your hips are neutral. Then point the leg to activate it. Draw it out towards the side and step that foot onto the ground. Pressing through the palm, shift your right hip back towards right heel. Pausing here. Again, maybe your forearms or head come down to the floor, maybe to a block. Just feeling that stretch on the inside of your left leg. Few more breaths here. And on your next inhale, press through that right knee. Lift up onto your palms. Left foot lifts up, comes around, bending at the knee, back down to tabletop. Stepping your palms, one palm like the head, tucking your toes, pressing through the hands, lifting the hips up and back, downward facing dog. From here, pedaling your heels, reaching your heels towards the earth, stretching out those calves. Two more times. And then coming high onto both toes, reaching both heels towards the earth. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down, and just pausing here, making sure there's still a micro bend in your knees, but trying to stretch those heels towards the ground, stretching through the calves, through the hamstrings, making sure you're still pressing through the palms so that your back stays flat. Belly's drawn in, ribs knit in. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. On your next inhale, right leg lifts up towards the ceiling. Foot is flexed, toes are pointed downwards. Point the toe, bend at the knee, and rotate the hips. So we're going to circle it 5 times in one direction, lubricating that hip. And 5. And then 5 times in the other direction.
Making sure you're staying strong through the front body, right through both sides of the waist. And 5. Then stretching, lengthening out that right leg, bringing that knee forward, stepping it to the outside of your right hand. Lizard pose. So foot is coming wider than hips. You're high on the balls of the back toes. Pausing here in lizard. Feeling that stretch through the left hip flexor, the right groin. Maybe you lower the back knee, untuck the toes, shine the chest forward, and get a little bit of a deeper stretch here. Option to even come down onto forearms or onto a block. Just pausing here. Two more breaths. If you found forearms coming back to palms, left palm stays planted on the mat. Right palm is just going to very gently open up the right hip. So you're going to come from the flat foot to the outside edge of the right foot. Just gently pressing here. Nothing too crazy. Just feeling a deeper stretch in that right groin. One more inhale and exhale. Stepping that right foot back down, bringing it underneath your chest so that right palm comes to the outside of right foot, so we're in a low lunge. Inhale, lift the hands up. So depending on where you are, you can always place a cushion under that left knee. Left toes can always tuck as well, whatever's most comfortable for you. This, we're going to take our hands and just gently rest them on that right thigh, making sure we're not pressing onto the knee. Front knee should be in line with front ankle still. We're not passing the ankle here, but you're bending into that right leg, deepening that stretch through the left hip flexor. One more breath. And then shifting your hips back, flexing into that right foot, coming into Ardha Hanumasana half split. So you might have to inch your right foot forward a little bit more. You want to try and keep your hips in line with that left knee, flexing your toes up towards your forehead, feeling that stretch underneath the calf and the hamstring of the right leg. Pausing here, just allowing the head to hang heavy. Hands can be on the mat or maybe they're on blocks on either side of the right leg. One more breath. Then inhale, stepping that right foot back down, shifting forward, low lunge. Hands planted firmly on either side, tucking the back toes, powering up that knee, runner's lunge. From here, we're going to walk the right foot over towards the left hand. Left hand is going to come to the inside edge of the right foot. You're coming onto the outside, sliding it down slightly. Right knee comes to right wrist, right ankle to left wrist. Coming into pigeon pose. So if you already know that pigeon's not for you, feeling free to come onto your back into a figure 4. I'll go through that in a moment. Otherwise, you might need to slide your left foot back slightly. Pausing here. Right foot is flexed or pointed. You want an active foot to protect the right knee. Again, maybe you're high up here, maybe you're down on forearms, or maybe your head even comes to the ground or a block. Wherever you are, pausing here and feeling that stretch through the right hip and buttock. If pigeon is not for you and you'd like to come into figure 4, you're going to come down onto your back. Right ankle is going to cross over left knee, open up at that right knee, and then gently bring that left leg closer towards your body. You can stay here, you can bring your hands underneath the left thigh, interlacing the fingers, and then gently pulling that left leg closer towards your body. Wherever you are, pausing for a few more breaths. And then if head is lowered, gently lift it. If on forearms, gently press up to palms, tucking the back toe, lifting the back leg. Right foot steps back to meet left, downward facing dog. Again, maybe we come up onto our toes and then reach our heels towards the earth. 2 more times, up, reach. Once more, up, and reach. From here, inhale initiates the left leg. Foot is flexed, toes are pointed downwards. Bending at the knee, pointing that left toe, circling the hip. 1. 5, and then 5 the other way. Lubricating that hip, making sure to press through the palms. Lengthen the leg, point the toe. Inhale, draw knee to nose, puff up the back, step that left foot to the outside edge of the left hand. Coming into lizard pose on the other side. Again, pausing here. High on the ball of the right foot this time. And then maybe you lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Option to stay here. Again, maybe you come down to forearms, trying to keep it even, but making sure that you remember that there's always going to be one good side and one bad side. So maybe you're on forearms on the right leg, but you're not quite there on the left. Feel free to come to some blocks. Two more breaths, wherever you are. Then if you found forearms, pressing through the palms. This time right hand stays planted on the mat. Left hand just gently opens up at the left hip there. Remembering to roll onto the outside edge of that left foot. And then planting that left foot back down, bringing it more in underneath the shoulder so that left hand is on the outside instead of the inside. Inhale, press up through that left foot. Again, maybe you put a cover underneath the right knee. Wherever you are, hands interlaced, just gently resting on that left thigh so that you can press forward slightly and get a nice deep stretch through the right hip flexor. Remembering that the left knee does not pass the left ankle. One more breath. And then pressing through the left foot, bringing the right hip back in line with the right knee. Left foot flexes, toes up towards your forehead. Ardha Hanumasana half split. So this time we're stretching underneath the left leg, remembering that you can always bring to your hands to blocks on either side. If you want to come into full splits, maybe you have full splits in your practice, you can always do that here as well. Two more breaths. Inhale, stepping forward again, planting the palms, tucking the back toes, lifting that right knee up, walking that left foot over towards the right side of your mat, and then gently dropping it down so that left knee is in line with left wrist, left ankle, right wrist. Again, maybe you come to pigeon here, or maybe you go over onto your back, figure 4, which is obviously taking the opposite leg. Wherever you are, foot is flexed or pointed, protecting the knee. Maybe you have to bring that angle in, or maybe your shin is more parallel to the top of your mat. Whatever works for you in your body. Pausing here, wherever you are. Two more breaths. If you've found forehead, gently lifting the head. If on forearms, pressing up to palms. Tucking that back toe, powering up the right knee, stepping the left foot back. Downward facing dog. Realign, readjust as needed. Inhale, right leg lifts up. Foot is flexed, toes are pointed downwards, hips are neutral. Point the toe, lengthen the leg. Exhale, draw knee to nose, puff up the back, step the foot between the hands, runner's lunge. High on the balls of the back toes, right knee is in line with right ankle. Inhale, power up, high crescent lunge. Pausing here. And then straightening out that right leg, the front leg. Hinging forward at the hips, reaching the hands forward. And then down towards the earth. Variation of pyramid pose. So you're high on those back toes. I want you to gently bring the heel towards the earth until you feel a nice stretch in that left calf. Remembering not to lock out that right knee, you want a slight bend. Most of the stretching is going to be in the left calf here, and then maybe the right hamstring. Just pausing here, wherever you are, letting the head hang heavy. Two more breaths. Inhale, bending back into that right leg. Lifting yourself up, high crescent lunge. Pointing both your toes towards the back of your mat. Hinging forward at the hips. Making sure the back stays flat till the very end. Slight curve to the spine. Hands can reach towards the earth, or maybe they come to blocks. Making sure that you're not locking out those knees. Maybe taking your feet a little bit wider, getting a nice deep stretch here. Maybe forearms come to the mat, maybe head. Just feeling that stretch all down the inside of your legs. One more breath. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to release. Inhale, walking your feet slightly closer. Pointing that right foot towards the front of your mat. Spinning that left foot to match. Bending into that right knee. Coming back up, high crescent lunge. Stepping the left foot forward to meet right. Utkatasana chair pose. And then hinging forward at the hips, Uttanasana forward fold. Now from here we're stretching the whole back side of our legs, so those calves and hamstrings. Again, maybe hands are on fingertips, you're on blocks, or maybe your full palm is on the floor. Wherever you are, we're going to gently lift and lower the heels, just stretching those legs. So you don't want to lock your knees out, you just want to gently take a bend and a straighten. Feeling that deep stretch down the underside of your legs. And then release. Slight micro bend in the knees, belly to thighs, just letting the head hang heavy here. Planting the palms in front of you, stepping the feet back, pressing through the hands, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts up this time, foot is flexed, toes are pointed downwards, hips are neutral. Point the toe to lengthen the leg. Exhale, draw knee to nose, puff up the back, step the foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Check in with your alignment here, high on those right toes, and then lifting yourself up, high crescent lunge on the other side. Pausing here, inhale to lengthen, straightening through that left leg, hinging forward from the hips, and then bringing the hands towards the earth, variation of pyramid pose. Again, we're not locking out that left knee, slight micro bend there, and then very gently reaching those right heels towards the earth until you feel a nice stretch through that right calf. Then allow the head to hang heavy. Two more breaths. Inhale, back through high crescent lunge. Opening your feet up to the other side this time. Again, maybe taking them a little bit wider. Then reaching forward, hinging at the hips, wide-legged forward fold. Again, trying not to lock out your knees, slight micro bend. Maybe your hands come to the mat, maybe they come to the outside of both of your feet, or maybe they come behind you. Wherever you are, just gently pressing and feeling that stretch to the underside, the inside of your legs. Wherever you are, 2 more breaths. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, bringing your feet in if you've stepped them wide. Stepping that left foot back towards the front of the mat. Right foot rotates to follow. Bending into that left knee. Lifting up. High crescent lunge. Stepping right foot forward to meet left. Utkatasana chair pose. And then hinging forward at the hips. Uttanasana forward fold. Again, maybe you rotate your hips back and forth, gently straightening and bending at those knees, feeling that stretch on the underside of your legs. And then relaxing here, just allowing gravity to help you stretch out that back side of your body. And then planting your palms down on the mat, just stepping back, downward facing dog. From here, coming high onto your toes, dropping to your knees, shifting hips to heels, belly to thighs, forehead to mat, child's pose. 1 breath here. And then bringing yourself up and over onto your bum. From here, you're going to take your legs out long in front of you, removing the flesh from underneath your sit bones. Again, you can have a block underneath your bum if you like. You want to make sure that you're not rounding through the spine like this. You're sitting up nice and tall, and then hinging forward, forward fold. So maybe your hands come to either side in front of you. Maybe they reach forward to your toes. Maybe they pass your feet. Wherever you are, making sure that you're not feeling a pinch in your lower back as you reach forward. Just pausing here. One more breath. Slowly bringing yourself back up, taking your legs out wide. Feet can be flexed or pointed here. Again, we're going to hinge forward from the hips, so we're not rounding through the spine like this. If this is as far as you hinge, that's fine. Or maybe you come more forward, forearms to ground, forehead to ground, wherever you are. Pausing here, feeling that stretch again on the inside of your legs. Two more breaths. Maybe you come a little deeper. And then gently bringing yourself back up. Coming onto your back. Both knees are bent up towards the sky. Taking the right leg up towards the ceiling. Foot is flexed. Grabbing behind the right thigh. the calf, or maybe you can even grab peace fingers to big toe here. Wherever you are, just gently pulling the leg forward towards your chest, making sure that you're not pulling from behind the knee. You can always flex and point the toes. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you allow your left leg to come long. One more breath. And then bending into that knee, taking your leg out wide. Same thing, bringing the leg out towards the side. Maybe you bring peace fingers to big toes. Left hand comes long out beside you to counterbalance. Pausing here. Coming back through center, repeating on the other side. So left foot comes up towards the ceiling, grabbing behind the thigh, the calf, or the ankle. Gently pulling the leg towards your chest. And then maybe you straighten out that right leg. More breath, coming a little bit deeper, and then bending into that knee, bringing it out towards the side. Right hand can come out to counterbalance, stretching that leg out to the side. And then bending at the knee, bringing both knees in towards center, both legs up towards the ceiling this time. And again, hands can come behind your calves, behind your thighs, behind your calves, or peace fingers to big toes. Pausing here. Maybe lifting the head. And then bending at the knees, coming up to your seat. And that's the end of our class today. Hopefully those stretches have given you some ideas on how you can release some tightness on the back side of your legs. Thank you for joining me. Bye.